So there you have it, my top 5 yay and nay episodes of season 1. Now it is time for you guys to go nuts in the comments, providing your own top and bottom episodes as well as the criteria you chose them by. This is ANY saying see you soon.
On this journey and quest of my...
Whew, glad I got this done quickly. Guess I really earned myself a bit of relaxation on Steam now. Huh? This game looks strange, like one of my title cards, but I have never seen it before. And is this Caden's wedding dress I'm wearing? Why would there be a title card with a season 2 reference in it? No, they wouldn't. Okay, forget games. How about some fanfiction? Ah! This is impossible. Okay, that's it. I need to hide somewhere. Hello? Any pony home?
Oh, hi, and why? What are you doing here?
Hey Eric, is it okay if I hide here for a bit? I have the feeling that something or someone is following me.
Sure, no problem. Is it okay if I record some lines while you're here?
Yeah, sure. Don't let me keep you from anything.
Cool.
Would he finally be able to catch a break? Or would his so-called friends find him even here and eventually make him sacrifice yet another weekend full of ponies, marathoning the entire second season?
Act 2, Eric. I need to get out of here. Now! Execute protocol Eric Cartman!
But screw you guys, I'm going home.
Whew. That got creepy. Huh. Hey Andy, what's up?
Hey, ANY, I just sent you the most awesome link ever in Skype. You have to check it out.
Okay, give me a sec. This isn't funny, Andy. Hello, this is AnYPony and welcome to my top 5 yay and nay episodes of season 2 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Like for season 1, I sat down with those 3 guys and a bunch of other guys as well and marathoned the entire season in one weekend, including an in-depth discussion about each and every episode and of course the usual shenanigans that always happen when you lock a bunch of bronies in a Skype call for an extended period of time. Well, anyways, here I am equipped with a detailed list evaluating each episode of the season and providing me a nice clean numeric score that easily allows me to basically just read out the, do I dare to say it and provoke the obligatory flame wrath, objectively best and worst episodes of the second season. And I'm completely going to ignore it. While I used the same scoring system as for season 1, I was somehow alienated by the outcome of the second round. For the first season, my personal opinion coincided very well with the results of our evaluation, but this time around I felt like the results are not reflecting how I personally feel about the episodes. And this video is called ANY's Top 5 Yay and Nay episode after all. So you can still check out the quote-unquote objective scoring in my transcript linked below, and I am also going to acknowledge what we agreed on as a group. However, you are going to get my personal top and least favorite episodes. Number 5.
Neigh!
Heartwarming Eve. I can already feel the evil glares and death wishes I'm getting from past analysis for this, but let me explain. This episode is not bad at all. It even has some nice ideas like the setup and with how the reality of the show blends in with the reality of the play, the amount of world building we get and yet another cool implementation of a mythical creature. Even so, I have to say, have you ever checked out what Wendigos actually are? Those are some creepy monsters. However, the episode itself simply could not provide what I value most about MLP. An intriguing narrative, great entertainment and an interesting conflict for the characters to overcome. To put it simple, why I picked 19 episodes, 2 parters counting as one, above Heartwarming Eve, it is boring to me and has very little rewatch value. Number 5.
Yay!
Read It and Weep. This is one really good episode, on par with the best night ever with the winner of season 1. Even though I have the feeling that we got more generous with our scores as time passed, kind of undermining the entire objectivity approach. There is barely anything I dislike about this episode. I actually love it to bits. The only reason 4 other episodes managed to score higher in the top list of my heart, oh yeah, I'm bringing out the cheese for that one, is that they simply blew me out of the water even more than this one. A great narrative featuring a story in a story with very clever transitions and crossovers, great character development for Dash in the face of a very relatable conflict, and an overall entertainment piece of media topped off with an actually good moral. Yay! Number 4. Dragon Crest. Another one that is objectively not bad. On the contrary, it even scored higher than Heartwarming Eve. Narrative is solid, so is the character development for Spike, and he actually gets to learn one of the best morals of the entire show. Seriously, only 2 other morals scored that high so far. It's only that it is such a standard, no risk taking, seen 1,000 times story we have to sit through. And while Dragon Quest is not the only MLP episode suffering from this kind of problem, it lacks something most of those other episodes have in order to compensate for it. Entertainment. Watching Spike go through all the abuse and all those challenges gets dull rather quickly. Number 4.
Yay!
Hurricane Fluttershy. If I would have stuck with the original score, this one would have been the clear number 1 yay. Instead of listing in which category the episode is extraordinary, let me just list those it is not. Dialogue. That's it. And even that was really good. The thing is that we have always been a bit critical with dialogue, and it barely got an extraordinary rating from us at all. And before you go nuts in the comments, I am aware of the Spitfire issue, and I agree. Her presence, while not helping with the tornado herself after the record has already been off the table, undermines Fluttershy's achievement. But she was only there as a symbol for Dave's desire to break the record. I wouldn't even count her as a plot device. The issue with her would have been super easy to fix, has no real influence to the overall story, and is probably really just an oversight by the writer because she simply forgot about Spitfire because her insignificance for the episode as a whole. So it is still safe to say that Hurricane Fluttershy is one of the best episodes of the entire show. So how exactly did it only end up on the number 4 spot? To be honest, there is only one true and kind of sad answer. Fluttershy is the least relatable main character to me. Right here we have a nearly perfect episode featuring her in a really fantastic way, and I still prefer watching a clearly inferior episode like my number 3 over watching Hurricane Fluttershy, simply because I lack the connection to the protagonist. But for every Fluttershy fan out there, you are truly lucky to have one of the very best episodes of the show dedicated to your favorite timid Pegasus. Number 3. Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000. Well, this one shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. After Chad Rocco, Anthony C, Canned Cream, and eventually even me ripping this episode a new one, I'd say its defectiveness can be considered common knowledge by now. The entire reasoning behind AnYPony's actions, and therefore as a consequence the structure of the narrative as a whole, is nonsensical. Surprisingly enough, so it was still rather entertaining to watch, and the before mentioned lack of common sense aside, the characters were really well presented as well. Nevertheless, I already talked about that one in detail in my Flim Flam videos, so I'll cut this short right now and simply point you to the video for more details. Talking about episodes that received a legendary flank kicking by Anthony C. Number 3.
Yay!
A Canterlot Wedding. Once you are aware of the plot holes and how asinine Chrysalis' plan actually was, it is hard to keep calling this one of the best episodes of the show. It clearly isn't. However, try to remember the first time you watched it. We all were expecting the fairy tale wedding the advertisement threatened us with, and it started out bad enough with fake Cadence being a really despicable bridezilla, and you immediately side with Twilight since, well, she's the protagonist and therefore right, isn't she? And then BAM! During the rehearsal when it really looks like Cadence has been just misunderstood and all you can sing is, "Oh snap, Twilight, you just alienated your brother, your friends, and freaking Celestia!" Only for her to get dragged to hell in green flames a second later. Another one! As mind-blowingly stupid as Chrysalis revealing herself was plot-wise, it was one hell of a scene. And don't forget the changelings as a whole. I haven't met many bronies who don't like the changelings as an interesting species. Throw in some epic music numbers, a legendary fight scene, and instead of a girly foo-foo fairy tale wedding, you suddenly have my 3rd favorite episode of Season 2. Number 2. Cutie Pox. What do you know? This one would have been second worst even if I would have stuck to the original score. There is nothing interesting happening in that episode. It is just one big meh. Remind you once again, having a meh episode as the second worst speaks volumes about the quality of MLP as a whole. But back to topic. Apple Bloom is obsessing over her cutie mark. Again, we got a lot of shenanigans with her going through a lot of different activities as a result of her obsession. Again, this time her moping doesn't even stop her from treating her fellows in misery as crap. Credits to 3D and Scoots for staying super supportive friends anyways, even when Applebloom makes a big show-off session. Gives you a nice outlook how things should turn out should Applebloom be the first one to get her cutie mark for reals. There was a reason why I wished for no more Applebloom episodes in my Season 4 wishlist. Cutiepox is a great example for my reasoning. Number 2.
Yay!
Return of Harmony. Guess this one has been rather predictable now, has it? Discord as a villain, John Delancey as his voice, the discorded main six, the way each of them gets discorded in the first place, Tom, that expression on Tia's face, all those amazing creative ideas for the chaos. I mean, come freaking on! How can you not love this two-parter? Not to mention that it does a great job reintroducing all the main characters and the world of Equestria within the first few minutes to allow all fans returning after the break and new viewers alike a smooth entry, making it a very effective season opener. Return of Harmony truly has been one of the big trend-setting milestones of the series. From this highlight to one of the for me most troublesome episodes of the show. If you take a close look at the run-ups of the Neigh list, you can probably already tell which one is still missing. So place your bets, because my least favorite episode of Season 2 is... Number 1... Baby Cakes. Okay, everybody who was guessing Mysterious Mare-do-Well, pay up to my long-term viewers who can still remember my rants about baby cakes in the earlier days of my channel. To be fair, however, if you were expecting MMDW, you did so for good reasons. It is really a bad episode. It is the first and so far only episode we as a random livestream council gave a negative score. The narrative has been one law-breaking plot device after another. All the really interesting aspects about Rainbow's psyche we got in this episode, seriously, check out Horseshoe's video on that episode. He has some fascinating points. Well, all those intriguing character moments by the protagonist have been drowned in the fact that the entire supporting cast got turned into a bunch of OOC social justice warriors, except maybe Spike. Add the forced as hell conflict into the mix, because Rainbow did nothing wrong until her friends started to antagonize her, and the terrible dialogue is explained already. Fun fact, the episode has actually a good moral. Too bad its delivery and execution turn its possible impact completely null and void. The entertainment was pretty decent though. Some nice jokes, the Batman references, and so on. It was fun to watch. And there's also what kept it out of my Neigh list altogether. Like the first Equestria Girls movie, I consider it bad beyond saving, and therefore enjoy it as its own standalone entity in a guilty pleasure sense. Baby Cakes is pretty much the exact opposite. It is a really good episode. So good in fact that it got close to the top 5 of the original scoring. The narrative progresses absolutely smoothly, with this ingenious moment in the middle when Twilight offers her help and accidentally triggers Pinky's desire to prove to the rest of the world and herself that she can handle the kids alone. Even so, I really have to wonder if Twilight of all ponies would have been a good choice to begin with. Her level-headedness is usually only one incident away from madness, until a few months ago she was an antisocial, and her skills as a caretaker are rather questionable considering the way she treats Spike most of the time, or Philomena back in Bird in the Hoof. Nevertheless, Twilight's appearance and Pinky's refusal of her help is what makes Baby Cake an outstanding character episode for Pinky. The conflict suffers a bit from its resolution. The babies have been right all along, crying solves everything! And also baby talk doesn't provide much space for great dialogue. But we get a really great moral many people still have to take to heart in real life, and the entertainment was, objectively speaking, good as well. Just look at this horror movie parody. I should love this episode. It should be at the opposite end of this rating. Why has it been the only episode of the second season I couldn't stop myself from ranting the entire time? Because it does what Mysterious Mare-do-Well did, however, because it isn't a train wreck I don't care about, but rather good instead, it drives me up the walls. The law-breaking contrivances surrounding the super babies. I give Charlotte Ferreton great credit for acknowledging that she is pulling stuff out of her flank in order to make the story she wants to tell work. But no, Carrot Cake, it doesn't make sense. Charlotte even does the groundwork for her later contrivances by making the cast outright announce, or foreshadow if you will, stuff that is going to happen. However, all tongue-in-the-cheek acknowledgements and masterfully done build-ups aside, those ridiculously overpowered, logic-defying, law-breaking, 1-month-old folds. I am talking about a show featuring magical, anthropomorphic, candy-colored ponies that constantly wield objects that are obviously designed to be used with hands. Thus my suspension of disbelief simply can't take those babies. Twilight Sparkle, one of the most powerful unicorns in Equestria, breaks a sweat, moving a single page with levitation. Pumpkinfeld does not only levitate multiple objects, but herself, and later even manages to phase shift through an object. Those are not strange magical surges, as Rarity calls it at the beginning of the episode. Considering Pumpkin is doing all those spells rather consciously, I'd rather call them Archmage level sorcery. And Pound King is only slightly less aggravating. Remind you, he's only 1 month old, discovers flight for the first time in his life, and does not only master it, makes you wonder what's the point of flight camp and why not more ponies wonder about Scootaloo situation, but Pound is capable of carrying a grown-up pony against her will at high speed through the entire house. No, 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 no. Feathering horse apples, no. Okay, I am all rented out. Now let's have some honorable mentions of good episodes to get us into the mood for my number 1 yay. Sister of Social for being a fantastic episode about Rarity, Sweetie Belle and their relationship as siblings. A friend indeed for, well, the Smile Song. Ponyville Confidential for being the first CMC episode in which the girls do something else than constantly obsessing over the cutie marks, and altogether the best all CMC episode to date, counting Flight to the Finish as a Scootaloo episode.
And now for the moment you've all been waiting for.
Number 1, Lesson 0. I was really torn between this one and It's About Time, but between those two awesome Best Pony Loses It episodes, Lesson 0 is just a bit stronger in some categories. Both episodes have a really good but not outstanding narrative. Not worrying too much about the future and taking your friend's worries seriously are both strong morals, and both have been very well implemented into their episodes respectively. The two start to drift apart when it comes to the conflict. As an old Back to the Future fan and a Whovian, I love wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. But time loops barely make for a solid, well-structured, serious conflict to overcome. Unless you talk about best fanfiction ever. Twilight going crazy up to Gollum levels and Tara Strong's fantastic performance as a psychotic mental case are simply outstanding, and the still very good dialogue in It's About Time simply can't keep up. Finally, the entertainment in both episodes was outstanding. But again, Lesson 0 managed to stand out even a bit more, even forcing me to break my own rating system. So sorry, time traveling Metal Gear Twilight, but you just got yayed out by your past. And hereby the list of my personal top and bottom 5 episodes of Season 2 is finished. Now it is your chance to share your own most and least favorite episodes of the second season in the comments below. This is AnY saying see you soon.
On this journey and quest of mine, I'll find a way to get it with much less time.